Hey everyone, my name is Wedge and I have to make this video. I have to make it right now while no one is paying attention to anything. You know how everyone's focus is on Eternal Masters right now? Yeah, it's time to take action. Serious action, financial action. I'll explain what I mean in a second. Before that, and I can't stress this enough, I am not a financial expert. I can't see into the future. The only reason I make these videos is because you all want them and seem to like them. Do not take them as gospel. Just telling you what I think. Lastly, all the prices we use for this video come from tcgplayer.com and all the graphs we're using come from mtgstocks.com. If you like financial videos from us and want more of these in the future, be sure to hit that like button and let us know. It helps. Alright, Standard is primed for entry right now. There hasn't been a better time to enter Standard in the last, 5 years maybe. Now is the perfect time. Everyone's talking about Eternal Masters. No one is paying attention to Standard, and even if they are, most of the best staples in the format aren't even mythics. They're rares, and there are no fetch lands barring entry to the format. Welcome to the lowest average cost of Standard in the last half-decade. Let's talk about the cards you need to buy for Standard right now. We'll begin with the most expensive one, Gideon, ally of Zendikar. Near-mint copies have stabilized around $20, sometimes $18 or so. This is going to be the cheapest the big guy is going to get for the foreseeable future. He doesn't rotate for another year, he's the core of a ton of token strategies, black-white decks, and anything that comes in the future that has a strong white presence. He's the most consistent planeswalker right now. I know $18 doesn't seem exciting, but if you've been waiting to get Gideon, I wouldn't wait any longer. This might be your best chance. Better to be safe than sorry. Now, let's talk about cards you gotta get right now, no matter what. We're in this glory period in Standard right now when rares are doing the most damage and making the most impact. Let's spend a few moments talking about our Lord and Saviors, the Eldrazi. Even after the modern bans, there are some Eldrazi decks that still do well there. And in Legacy, and in Vintage. Reality Smasher, Thought-Knot Seer. I can say this with absolute certainty, the eternal power of Thought-Knot Seer and Reality Smasher are far greater than their price tags. Thought-Knot Seer is $5, and the Smasher, $3. $3 for a card that sees play in 4 different constructed formats. This is the world we live in. I don't care who you are, I don't care what you play. If you have some extra dollars lying around, you spend them on Seers and Smashers because it makes no sense that these cards are this cheap when they're making the impact they're making. It doesn't make any sense. I'm freaking out over here. Let's move on. This next card is one of my pet picks, a card I've been working with lately and I really don't want to get left behind in case it does something ever. Rattlechains. I've heard murmurs of players building with this card, and while there isn't a top-tier Spirits deck right now, there are a few blue-red tempo decks that performed very well that run Rattlechains. The card's 50 cents. This seems like a card that should be higher than 50 cents, one of those penny stock situations. If you can grab a playset of the chains, I'd do it. Not going to be like 20 bucks, but I don't think it'll be 50 cents forever. Just saying. Next up is a card that I think has finally hit what I believe will be its low point unless there's literally nothing in Eldritch Moon. Arlen Cord has finally hit $8 for a near-mint copy. I'm sorry, but this has to be the buy-in price for those of you who waited. It has to be. That's so low. She has so much potential, right? I mean, if they make that legendary werewolf, you know they're going to, and then maybe a few other werewolf creatures, Arlen will take off. She's in a few standard decks now, but if she blows up, I never forgive myself. At $8 each, I got 2 of her. Couldn't say no. This is more of me being too afraid not to get her right now than me giving you any real prediction at all. Just felt like sharing my fear with you. Don't want to miss that train. Now, I understand the reluctance to get behind Goldnight Castigator. I do. It legit doubles the amount of damage you take. But if you have it at the top end of an aggressive mono-red or red-black deck, who cares if you're taking damage? You're the aggressor. You should be the one dealing all the damage. This is a 4-mana haste creature with evasion. Amazing against slower strategies. If control decks ever come back and become viable again, Goldnight Castigator is going to rip them limb from limb. Seems like an easy decision at $1. Big spender over here. I think Tireless Tracker has hit its low point. I'm surprised it got down this far to begin with. This is one of those great filler cards in a deck, brings with it a ton of value, and at worst, it's an amazing removal magnet. Sitting at around $3 on TCG Player right now seems like a slam dunk pickup. Still in a ton of standard decks. Obviously a powerful card, just seems like a good price I should tell you about. These last few cards are only in this video because I think they're just too cheap based on their own power. Olivia Mobilized for War, Goblin Dark-Dwellers, and Linvala the Preserver. I'm still holding out for a few really strong cards that will bring a red-black aggro deck to tier 1. Once that happens, I expect both Drana and Olivia will make appearances. If that does happen, $5 each for Olivia may seem like a bargain. I'm not telling you that the card is going to spike ever. I'm merely saying that if you were thinking about getting Olivia at some point, she's at an all-time low right now. Good time to buy if you need her. Goblin Dark-Dwellers is a peculiar case. The card is amazing. It's already seeing play in multiple Grixis builds in Standard, and still, it's only $2.50, sometimes cheaper. I feel like this card is stronger than that price, and we may see it find a more powerful home in the future. Who knows what crazy 3-mana cost spells come out in the next few sets. Again, not saying it's going to be a $20 card, but $2.50? I don't know. I made sure to get my playset. It's near an all-time low, so get in now if you want to. Last but not least, Linvala. I remember her pre-order price was north of $10. Crazy times. She's now $2 for the record, even after seeing extensive play in tokens over the past few weeks. A mythic at $2 seems weird considering she definitely isn't merely a limited bomb. She has proven herself in Constructed. It's hard for me to just be okay with that. Another card I got my playset of by spending $10. Yeah, $10 for a playset of this mythic rare bomb Angel. Another card very close to its all-time low, just letting you know. Those are my big standout cards that you really need to consider getting if you need them. Besides that, I do want to show you this funny chart. Anyone else really enjoy this? Because I totally do. This drop is legendary. Not only is Jace going to rotate in a little over 3 months, he's also losing all traction in Eternal formats. He isn't as good as players wanted him to be. With all that coming together, his value is tanking. It also doesn't help that fetch lands are gone. Not nearly as good without fetch lands, even with madness being a thing. So if you wanted Jace for your cube or commander deck, keep waiting. This kit is falling so fast it's legendary. Man, that graph is pretty. I think that's going to do it for this episode. What did you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I feel like I took a pretty safe route. I only pointed out cards that I was relatively confident were way below what they should be. What are some cards you think are underpriced right now that I didn't mention? Of course, again, don't take my word as gospel. I am not an expert, just a YouTuber trying to make his viewers happy. As always, subscribe for the latest and most reliable Magic the Gathering information you could ever need. This is the Mana Source. I'm Wedge. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. This video is brought to you in part by TCGplayer.com. The 2 cards I really want to make sure you remember are Thought-Knot Seer and Reality Smasher. These 2 are criminally underpriced for how useful they are throughout Magic's constructed formats. Thought-Knot, right now, TCGplayer.com, $6 each. $6 with shipping, come on. How about Reality Smasher, the ridiculously powerful 5-drop? $3.50. $3.50. The deals are real. If you need these cards, click the links, buy them, enjoy your life, please.